Hi, I'm Katie from Abridge Academy, and today I'm going to be working through the Abridge Academy English Level Placement Test. This is a free test you can use to place your students at the correct English level according to the CEFR framework and the Abridge Academy curriculum. It's available completely for free, so if you haven't signed up yet, please do register for the Abridge Academy curriculum free tier to get access. Okay, when you log into Abridge Academy, you should be directed to your member dashboard. You can also find this anytime by clicking on the Abridge Academy logo in the top left corner. On your member dashboard, you'll find a section called Step-by-Step Curriculum. And at the very beginning, you'll find Placement Test plus Trial Classes. So we're going to click here to access the placement test. This placement test is intended to be used at the start of your first class with a student. This will usually be a trial class with someone who's thinking of signing up to more longer term classes with you. It will help you place your students at the correct level of the Abridge Academy curriculum, as well as giving you their approximate CEFR level and also advise you on which exams they may wish to be working towards. I would say this placement test is intended to take around 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most of that trial class. So it's meant to be quite a quick test, a quick assessment of their level. It covers vocabulary and grammar primarily, as well as focusing on sort of speaking, listening, and reading skills as well. So it's an opportunity to give a quick assessment of your student's level, and then it's going to direct you to the correct trial class that you need to continue that first session with your student, giving them an insight into your teaching and so on. I'll show you that in a separate video. So let's have a look first at the placement test. If you're familiar with the Abridge Academy curriculum, this should be very familiar to you. It's the same standard format as all Abridge Academy lessons, using our interactive lesson slides. At the bottom right corner, you can click here and click on the full screen button to make full screen if you wish. Now on this first page, it's just a quick title slide. There's one really important thing you must remember to do. In the bottom left here, you'll see a section that says student's name and teacher's name. Please remember to write these in the boxes. This is used for various personalisation throughout the class, as well as things like the certificate at the end, the feedback form, and so on. So make sure you put in your student's name and your teacher's name here. I'm going to call my student Nancy, and my name is Katie. And then click to go to the next page. There is a quick sort of summary, some information for you as a teacher on how to use this placement test, just summarising what I'm also going to cover in today's video. Have a read of this before you start, just to make sure you know what you're doing. But in the actual live class with the student, I wouldn't recommend reading this out to them because this is information for you, not for the student. So let's move on. This is the first slide that you want to be screen sharing with your student. It is a simple warm-up slide, just asking some quick questions to get to know them, like what's your name, how old are you, where are you from, and so on. It gives you an opportunity to warm up the child to speaking a bit more in English, an opportunity to learn a bit about them, and also just a quick mini assessment just to check that they can speak in simple sentences, give a simple self-introduction. Now, as they answer these kind of questions in your warm-up, this is also another opportunity, a little reminder at the bottom there to put in your student's name and your teacher's name if you haven't already. If you already did it on the first slide, you don't actually have to put it in again, but it's just a quick reminder for you just to make sure you haven't forgotten. And then we're going to move to the next slide. Here you'll see the start of that personalisation I was talking about. You see that Amy, the first character, says, "Are you ready, Nancy?" So it greets our student directly by name. And then Tom is saying, "Let's go." So just a little quick warm up. So skip through this the first few seconds. Let's start. Now the placement test is split into 3 sections. The sections are pre-A1, A1 and A2 according to the CEFR framework. So this is ideal for sort of beginner to pre-intermediate students. You can, if you wish, skip some sections of the test. Most students you probably want to start at the beginning, but if you can tell already from their basic warm-up questions that they are quite sort of ahead, then you may decide, actually, let's just jump straight ahead to level A1 or level A2. And you can do that using the tabs on the right-hand side here. So on the right-hand side, you'll see these tabs, and you can just jump between different sections by clicking on them if you wish. If you do skip any sections of the test, be aware that there are 12 questions per section. So if you skip a whole section, you'll need to add 12 to your student's score to sort of compensate for the section that you skipped. Let's start today with pre-A1. Now I'm going to work through the questions in the pre-A1 section, just so you get an idea of the question format and how to use it in the placement test. I won't go through the whole rest of the test because it's the same kind of format, but this should give you an insight into how to use the test with your students. So let's just click through. First question here. We have our character Ben, and Ben is standing next to a banana. So the question is, what is it? And there's a choice, a mango, an apple, a banana, or a pear. Now, depending on your student, some of them will say straight away, banana, okay? And in which case, no need to do anything else, just click immediately on the answer they said. Other students might need a teeny bit more prompting. For example, you might want to list out the 4 options. Is it a mango, an apple, a banana, or a pear? And let them have a think and then say what they think the correct answer is. You may also find that some students are struggling to identify what you're referring to on the screen, like is it the boy or is it the banana? So in which case you might want to use the annotation tool in the top right corner and then just circle the banana on the screen. Yeah, what's this? This part. This is the banana, right? And get them to identify that. You may also find that it's sort of a little bit more fun and engaging if you've got a physical banana there you can hold up, a little bit of realia to illustrate your points, or it could be a flashcard or some other kind of prop you've got to refer to it. So you might want to plan a bit before the start of your placement test just to have those sort of resources handy for words you think they might struggle to know immediately just on sight from the slide. Okay, so they got here and they've said a banana. Now, I would say at pre-A1 level, we're not too worried if they don't have the ability to read the words on the screen. So don't worry they're struggling to read it out or circle the correct answer. We're focusing here just on the vocabulary and the ability to say the word. That's enough. So we click on banana and then click next. If they make a mistake, click on the word they actually said. So I know it's tempting sometimes to correct them, and by all means do correct them while you're speaking face to face. They told you it was a pear. You're like, no, that's not a pear. This is a pear. Show them a pear. What's this? This is a banana. Can you say the word banana? Let's practice. Banana. Banana. Do you like bananas? Yes, me too. Okay, and do a little bit of practice. Use it as a teaching moment. But when it comes to the placement test and what you put into the test, if they got it wrong, click on what they said. Don't click on the correct answer, because otherwise the placement test is going to assume that they know this word perfectly. So yeah, click on the word that they said and then and we're going to be moved straight on to the next question. How's the weather? And again, if you need to, you might want to circle it on the screen. You can mime raining. You can point out the window if it's raining where you are. You could hold up props and so on if necessary. But the student should be able to say, hopefully, it's rainy. And then you're going to click on the correct answer. Okay. Now, this next question is a little bit different. In this question, it's not just clicking on a single answer. Instead, you've got to drag the words to match up with the arrows referring to the image. We're looking at parts of the body here. For this one, I would start at the top and just work your way down. So the very first arrow at the top is pointing towards her eyes, right? So you can either hold up props, or in this case, I'd probably just lean forward close to the camera and point at my eyes. What are these? They are eyes. Eyes. Practice, eyes. How many eyes do you have? 2 eyes. Great. Okay, just make sure they know the word eyes, and then you're going to drag the word up to match with the eyes. And then we move on to the next one. What's this? What's this? Nose. Great. And then nose you can match here. And you're just going to continue like that to match everything up on the screen. You're going to want to be moving relatively quickly here. As I say, in total, this placement test, you want to take about 10 minutes or so. We're just checking quick vocabulary and grammar kind of skills. So don't have too many extended questions and discussion unless you feel like it's going to help and benefit your student, obviously. But yeah, match up the body parts with the image and then... Okay, now we've got a listening exercise. So all you need to do is click on the play button to play the audio.
I want a ball, please.
Ask the student the question, what does he want? Click on their answer. Hopefully they got it correct with a ball. And click next. Okay, now we have a quick counting exercise looking at numbers. We did have a bit of a think about this one. It should be getting to say every individual number, read them all out, but then that's going to be 30 questions, which is quite a lot for them to go through. So it's easier instead for you to just get them started with the numbers and just get them to say all the numbers in sequence. So just holding up your fingers, what's this? How many? Yes, very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you keep going? And then just keep them going as they say it. And as long as they get these words in the correct order, as they're speaking, you can just drag the words into order according to what they've said. And then you click. Okay, we've got another listening exercise here. So for this one, I would say it might be a good idea just to check their understanding of the new words as well, and same with some of the other audio questions, or in fact any of the questions. If you're looking at the images here, you might want to start by just getting them to say what the words are. You know, like what's this one? What's this? What's this? And get them to say the word. If you've got relevant props you can use, like here I've got a pen, you can hold it up. What's this? A pen. Do you have a pen? Great, show me your pen. Like just check they know the new words. Then you're going to play the audio.
In my bag, I have a pencil and a book.
Okay, so she says she's got a pencil and a book, right? So hopefully the student will say, pencil, book, and then you're going to click on those answers on the screen. Now you may find that with whatever teaching software you're using, if you're using teaching software that isn't very good at playing the audio, or it's just not sharing the audio at all, which is the case in some screen sharing platforms, you might instead want to save the audio yourself. So she said, in my bag, I have a pencil and a book. And you can just say it yourself as a teacher instead of playing the audio if the audio is having some issues with playing through your teaching platform. That's fine. You might also wish to get the student to repeat the sentence back at you just to check that they've heard it correctly. That could be another way just to check that they're listening if they're struggling a bit with actually saying and picking out the words. First, to check the audio is working, then focus on comprehension. Okay, and the questions kind of continue like this. The next one has got a little bit more challenging dialogue because there's now 2 audios to listen to. This one is actually designed to catch them out a little bit, so make sure they're listening carefully. So the first girl, she says,
Hi, Ben. Do you like tennis?
So she says, do you like tennis? Now be careful because the question is asking, does he like basketball? Okay, do you like tennis? What does Ben say?
No, I don't. I like basketball.
So he says, no, I don't. I like basketball. This is where some students get caught out because they hear, no, I don't, and think the answer must be, no, I don't. But they need to listen to your question to make sure they've actually understood what the dialogue said, because Ben said he likes basketball, not tennis. But the question's asking if he likes basketball, which he does. So yeah, some of the questions are designed just to trick students out a little bit, just to make sure they are fully comprehending and understanding what they're listening to. Okay, another one, just dragging and matching the parts of not the parts of the body this time, we're looking at different clothes. And again, if you've got these clothes yourself, point at them, what are these, right? These are my glasses, and so on. If you don't have these items yourself, you could perhaps use a doll or something, if you've got a doll or a teddy bear or something else that's wearing these clothes that you can refer to. Or, of course, you can just circle things on the screen and point out different parts of the body if you wish, whatever helps get the point across. We've got here a grammar question. Whose dog is it? Tom's, Tom's, or Tom? Here we're checking their ability to understand apostrophe S. They can listen to the audio, but he just says it's Tom's dog. You might want to use the annotation tools here just to circle the key differences to make sure they're kind of picking out what's the difference between these two, make sure they've understood which one is the correct answer. Get them to circle the answer they want to click on, and then click on whatever they say, and then click next. And we're working through the questions like this. Here we're looking at present simple tense, a regular present simple tense verb to like. I like, you like, he likes. So she's something listening to music. She likes listening to music. So click on whatever they say and click next. Again, make sure they've selected likes ES, not licks with an S, right? We've got to keep the E on the end there. So it's checking their ability to write sort of the spelling of it as well as their grammatical understanding. If they didn't get it correct, that's fine. Click on the answer that they said. And we keep moving through. Is he bouncing the ball? No, he isn't. And this is also an example of where if you want to, you can add a few extension questions. Again, it depends on how the student is doing and how quickly you need to be moving pace-wise. But you might feel like, okay, you can ask the student, what is he doing? He's not bouncing the ball. What's he doing? He's kicking the ball. Great. So ask that before you click next on the question. So if you've got any extension questions or things you want to ask as you go through, ask that before you click next. So no, he isn't. Next. Similarly here, we've got a similar kind of question. Can hippos fly? No, they can't. An opportunity if you want to with the extension question. What can hippos do? What hippos can swim, hippos can walk, things like that. So little opportunities there to extend if it is a more advanced student if you wish. Okay, and we completed section 1 of the placement test. When you get to the end of each section, you'll get this sort of scorecard, which summarises where the student is at so far. And essentially, there's be a number, and then that is assigned to a particular Abridge Academy level, CEFR level, and Cambridge exam. So to check your student's score, first go to the top right corner, where it says see the results of the question, and there should be a nice helpful arrow pointing to it on the slides. Click on that, and it pops up with this results tab. It will tell you exactly what score they got. In this case, we got 11 of 36 correct. So we got 11 right out of the 12 questions that were asked so far. I think I must have skipped one. Oops. Okay, so we've got 11 correct. If you want to, you can download their score. It just downloads it as a CSV file for your reference. But I usually don't bother. You can take a screenshot of that as well if you wish. But using that number 11, you can then look at the top row and see, okay, 11 is in this range here, which corresponds to level 2 of the Abridge Academy curriculum, pre-A1 in terms of CFR level, and the Cambridge Starters exam. So this is where it's placed the student at. And there's a nice big button here saying level 2 trial. So if this is the first class of the student, the trial class, after you've done this bit of the placement test, which is probably about 10 minutes or so far if they're at that kind of level, you can then click on this level 2 trial to be taken straight to the level 2 trial class, which means your trial class just continues nice and smoothly on. Let's imagine that they got full marks. If they got full marks, you can instead click continue, and that's going to take you to the next section of the test, and you can just keep going. I'm not going to go through these questions, but they're exactly the same concept as in the first section. It's just things you click on, things you can drag, but focusing on vocabulary, grammar, as well as some listening and reading kind of comprehension skills as well. But there's all these different questions, and you can just work through it. And one thing I would mention here as well, that as you're working through, you may eventually get to the point at which the student is making more mistakes. So let's say they've got 2 or even 3 incorrect wrong in a row. That to me would indicate you've probably reached their level. Okay, and there's no point ploughing through the rest of the questions in that level if they're not going to get them all right. They're going to keep making mistakes and keep getting them wrong, and they'll be guessing randomly, and it's not going to really help in terms of giving them an accurate result. So if they've got 2 or 3 incorrect in a row, what I'd recommend doing is then just jumping to the final result section. To do this, just go to the bottom right corner here. There's a results tab in the bottom right corner. Click on this to go to the results section. And here we click to the next page. It gives you another kind of levels overview, very similar to what we just saw on the individual sections kind of level overview, but it's an overview of the entire test. So all of the sections of the test, all of the different scores they could have got, and all of the possible trial classes. So again, you're prompted to click on the top right corner to check your score. You can look at how many they got correct. Remember, if you skipped any sections of the test, add 12 to the section that you skipped. And then you're going to align that with the relevant level and so on using this table on the screen. So let's imagine you got 15 correct. That will tell you the student is at Abridge Academy level 3 and CFR level A1, and you should do the level 3 trial class. And you can just click on this to go straight to that level 3 trial class. I'm going to go through the trial class in more detail in later videos. Okay, so that's it. That is the Abridge Academy free English level placement test designed for beginner to pre-intermediate English students who would like to know more about their CFR level and which Abridge Academy level they should be starting on. I hope you found this helpful, and do check out the next video for more detail and top tips for making the most of those trial classes.